in. Let's do this. Sunday night, time for us to get ready to go. Monday's coming. So I wanted to have a conversation with you. Are you tired or is it emotional depletion? Come on in, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how you've been feeling. Here's the thing. We go through life day in and day out. We show up great for everybody else. But when do you actually do things for you? When do you actually do those things for you? So that's why we're here tonight, sis, because I want to have that conversation with you. When do you actually do things for you? Are you really tired or is it really emotional depletion? See, we were taught so early, young girls, we were taught to do things for everybody else. We were taught to show up for everybody else. We were taught to be where we got to be for everybody else. We were taught to do what we have to do for everybody else. But no one really taught us how to be for ourselves. Nobody taught us how to do that. Nobody taught us how to sit down and really and truly take care of ourselves. So here's what we do, Miss Brenda. We just keep running and running and running and running and running some more until, guess what? We literally run ourselves into the ground. So I want to ask you a question as we get started. Because I'm sitting here chilling on the sofa with my hot tea, my grandma's quilt, and my t-shirt to remind me that self-care is my priority in this season in midlife. But here's my question to you, okay? Sis, how are you really doing? Like, Bernetta, Dana, like, how are you really doing? I mean, deep down inside, don't have to lie to yourself. Just ask yourself that question. How am I really doing? How do I really feel about myself in this season? Because here's the truth. Those people that you keep showing up for, sis, are they really asking you how you really doing? Or they just keep asking you what they need you for? That's the question. So tonight, I want to know how you're really doing. Vernetta said, had to release it, it was hard, but I had to give it to God. Yeah. Here's the truth. Some things you can give to God. Here's the other part of that. Some things God's waiting on you to do for yourself. And in this season, taking care of yourself is not selfish. Sis, it's downright mandatory. That's right. I said it. It's downright mandatory. So let's talk about the difference between being physically tired and being emotionally depleted. See, we do a real good job of walking around with that Superwoman cape. It looks real good on us, and we've become so accustomed to wearing it. But here's the problem with the Superwoman cape. That myth of the strong black woman, she is not real. That's right. She really isn't real. She's a myth that's been made up, and all of us have been duped. We've been hoodwinked. We've been bamboozled to thinking we are supposed to be just like who? Who who is the strong black woman? We have been taught that we're supposed to be her. So we walk around with this cape trying to be great while on the inside being absolutely miserable. And when you start to live life in a miserable place, you become bitter. You become bitter and the exhaustion magnifies. So tonight, let's just talk real quick about the 5 signs of being tired and the 5 signs of being emotionally depleted. Because in this midlife, it's really about living our best life. It's not about rebounding and being somebody different. Mm-mm. It's about really and truly discovering who you really are for you. So here's the first sign that you may be tired and not emotionally depleted. That you may be tired. Here's the first one. You need more sleep. You need more sleep. Let's be honest. When you were a teenager, you slept all the time, right? That's the truth. Why? Because your body needed it. But as we got older and we started showing up for everybody else, we felt it was selfish for us to get sleep. As a matter of fact, some of us talked ourselves out of sleep. Here's the truth. You may not be getting enough sleep, sis. Your body at this stage in your life needs anywhere from 6 to 8 hours of sleep. That's the truth. That's the truth. So, how many hours of sleep are you getting a night? Are you getting 4, 5? On a good night, maybe 6? I used to be the same way. I used to describe a good night of sleep 5 to 6 hours. But here's the truth. You may need more sleep. That's the first sign that you're physically tired. You just may need more sleep. Here's the second sign that you may be tired. You're getting sleepy during the day. As your day goes on, 2, 3 o'clock, how many of y'all need a nap? You may be physically tired. Listen, my husband will tell you I am the queen of the 15-minute nap. Like, I love me a 15-minute nap. And that's my sign to me that sometimes I may be physically tired. I wake up in the morning, 4:15, 4:30 to be at the gym at 5 o'clock. Some days after working out, I may need a nap because I am physically tired. So sometimes you may be physically tired because you're getting sleepy during the day. Here's sign number 3 that you may be tired and not emotionally depleted. Here's the third one. Your body feels worn out. Like you've been going and going and going and going, and now the body just feels worn out. Your muscles ache, your eyes feel heavy. Y'all know how we do sometimes. You just need a boost of energy. You're physically worn out. That may be a sign that you are physically tired. And here's what I want you to remember. It's okay to be physically tired. Can I prove it to you that it's okay to be physically tired? Jesus got physically tired. Why? Because he was human. There were times, if we go back through the scripture, number one, every emotion that we experience as a human being, Jesus experienced it. That's the first thing. Number two, Jesus even showed us that there were times where he got physically tired and he had to steal away to be by himself to go get some what? Rest. So when was the last time that you really rested? When was the last time you really poured into yourself and took time away from everybody else to physically rest because you were worn out? That's right. If Jesus got worn out, sis, you can get worn out. Here's the fourth sign that you may be physically tired. Here it is. You have trouble focusing. I'm not talking about the brain fog. That's a whole nother subject right there of being in midlife menopause, perimenopause. But I'm talking about you're having trouble focusing because the brain is everywhere. Your thoughts are everywhere. You can't hold on to a thought because your thoughts are fleeting from you. That may be a sign that you are physically tired, that you can't keep focusing. You're working on a document or you're watching a TV program or you're doing something for somebody else and you just can't keep your thoughts together. That's a sign that you may be physically tired, right? Lawrence and I will come back from overseas traveling, and he doesn't get jet lag. I get jet lag. By day 2 or day 3, I'm going to get jet lag, right? And I know that I have jet lag coming because I get physically tired. And having trouble focusing is one of my telltale signs that I'm physically tired. I can't continue to hold a conversation. I'm pulling down words, but they're not coming out of my mouth. I am physically tired. And so that's how I know that jet lag is coming upon me, that I need to get some rest. So, what's your telltale sign that you are physically tired? You got one? Here's the fifth way that you know you are physically tired, right? You feel better actually after you get some rest. That once you've settled down and you've gotten some rest, you feel physically better. That's your sign that you know that you are tired, that you need to get physical rest, and once you get it, you feel better. That's a sign that you're tired, sis. Here's the truth. Being physically tired can be resolved by getting physical rest. But emotional depletion is different. See, sometimes you all, and I was included in this, and I rarely do this now. And if I do it, I'm catching myself a lot earlier. But emotional depletion isn't a physical issue, it's an emotional issue. And here's how you know that it's not physical: it stays on your mind. See, when you're physically depleted, when you're physically tired, you can say to yourself, I'm tired, and you keep on going. But when you are emotionally depleted, here's one thing that you will keep doing: you keep thinking about what's bothering you. Here's the first sign that you're emotionally depleted, and I want you to think about this. You're constantly giving, but you're rarely receiving. Who are the leeches in your life that's constantly pulling you and asking you to show up and to do things for them, but they're rarely giving back to you? And if they are giving back to you, they're not giving back to you at the same level that you're giving to them. Who are those people? Is it your adult child that wants you to keep showing up for the grandkids because they got other stuff to do? Is it your adult child that keeps asking you for money when you really don't want to give them money, but you keep doing that? Is it other people, your community, your church, all of these other people pulling at you? Here's the clue. You really want to say no to them, but you say yes anyway. And after you say yes, you have a whole conversation in your head about why you really wanted to say no, but you said yes. See, you're constantly giving to other people and other things. But if I were to ask you the last time you gave to yourself, you couldn't even tell me. When was the last time you gave to yourself, Ella? When was the last time you gave to yourself? When was the last time you showed up for yourself? What was it that you did that poured back into you emotionally? See, that's what we have to be mindful for in this season of our midlives right now. We have to do those things that pour back into us. Here's the second sign that you may be emotionally depleted. Rest doesn't even help. You can spend a whole weekend in the bed all weekend long, watching movies, resting, all your kids got your phone on do not disturb. But here's the truth. Monday morning shows up and it's like the weekend didn't even happen. That's when you are emotionally depleted. Rest, physical rest, doesn't even help you. You're emotionally depleted, sis. You can go away and get as many massages as you want. You can get a mani and pedi. You can go sleep in a hotel room all weekend long. But when Monday shows up, you're still exhausted because that's a sign that you're emotionally depleted. Here's sign number 3 that you're emotionally depleted. Everybody is getting on your nerves. You're easily agitated. You're easily irritated. You're emotionally depleted, sis. You're trying to do everything from everybody and you're doing it from an empty place. When you start doing that, that makes you irritated and that eventually leads to your bitterness. Now you're serving, doing, having, being irritated by the very things that you thought was making you the strong black woman. But the truth of the matter is, sis, it's not. It's making you emotionally depleted. Here's number 4, that the number 4 sign that you're emotionally depleted. You are numb to how you're really feeling. And this is where so many of my clients find themselves. One of the questions that I ask my clients in our first session together, right? In our very first session together, I ask them this question. And 9 times out of 10, it brings tears to their eyes. What do you want? Simple question. What do you want? And here is what happens. I get a moment of silence. Their eyes close. Their body relaxes. They usually drop their head. And as they drop their head, the tears begin to flow. Why? Because they can't answer the question of what they want. They've gone weeks, months, even years supporting everybody else, and they can't even tell me what they want for themselves. Sis, what do you want? Or have you become numb to your own wants, your own needs, and your own expectations? Let me ask that again. What do you really want? Or have you become numb to your own needs, your own expectations, and your own wants? Here's the fifth sign that you are emotionally depleted. You're functioning, but you're not living. You're functioning. You do a real good job of functioning. You do a real good job of your daily planner, of putting your reminders in your phone, of looking through where you're supposed to be at what time you're supposed to be there and what you're supposed to bring. Oh, you do a great job of doing that. But are you really living? Can you look at your day and can you look at that calendar and can you see where you put some time in that day for yourself? Can you look at the week and say, here's the day that I gave to myself? Can you look at the month and see how many hours out of the month you've spent time with you? Yeah, you're functioning, but are you really living? See, physical stress says I'm tired. Emotional depletion says I got nothing left in me to give to myself. I'm giving it to everybody else. So, what are you going to do in the next 7 days for you? How do you handle your emotional depletion? Because the truth is, we've all been there. Some of you are still there. Some of you are still emotionally depleted, and that's okay. Because I hope after tonight, I've made you aware of how you need to now take a look at yourself and sit back and go, wait a minute, am I physically tired or am I emotionally depleted? Am I over giving to people? Am I people pleasing? Am I carrying invisible baggage that wasn't even mine to carry? Am I losing touch with who I really am in this season in my life? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Am I feeling lost? Am I losing focus on the most important person in my life? Who's the most important person in your life, sis? That's a trick question. Let me help you. The most important person in your life, it's you. It's not your children. It's not your spouse. It's not the people that you have to be full-time caregiver for. No, sis, the most important person in your life is actually you. Because without you, they wouldn't be who they are. Without you, they wouldn't have what they have. And here's the truth. You've got to do a better job of taking care of you so that you can take care of them. But until you reverse that and start giving to you as much as you're giving to them, you're going to continue to be physically tired and emotionally depleted. You're going to be both. So as I wrap up tonight, here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about who you need to set up some boundaries with. Yeah, there are some people who need to hear your no. because your no is just as powerful as your yes. Your yes is a prize that you give away like it's invaluable. Yeah, you're making it like it's just another plastic ring in a Cracker Jack box. No, sis, your no is just as valuable and powerful as your yes. And you need to start using it more. You need to start putting up boundaries to the very people that you give away your time, your talent, your energy, your emotional capacity to. Yeah, you've got to put up those boundaries. And here's the thing, a boundary is not a bad thing. A boundary protects you and it protects them. That's why boundaries are so important. You've got to put up boundaries and you've got to rest without feeling guilty. Rest without feeling guilty. We are the queens of feeling guilty when we don't show up for other people. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to be intentional about your rest. My husband will tell you, I am being intentional about my rest in this season. My no is just as powerful as my yes. Why? Because my rest is so important to me. I plan on living another 40, 50 years, and I'll be 56 in September. And in order for that to happen, I've got to prioritize myself with my rest. Here's the next thing I want you to do. I want you to practice the word no. No. Like, can y'all put the word no on the screen for me right now? No. It's a complete sentence. We learned that in elementary school. No is a complete sentence and it doesn't need explanation. You can put an exclamation point at the end of it. You can put a period at the end of it. But no is a complete sentence. And I want you to practice that. That is this week's homework. Sis, that is this week's homework. No is a complete sentence. Put it on the screen. I want you to practice that this week. I don't want you to put no dot 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 with an explanation behind it. I just want you to say no. And if you got to be polite and southern, you can say no, thank you. But I want you to practice that. Say no. I'm okay. No. And I want you to practice saying it without feeling guilty. Here's the thing I want you to also do this week. I want you to reconnect with your joy. As you put up boundaries, as you put rest on your calendar, as you practice the word no being a complete sentence, I want you to find your joy. Yeah, I want you to find the reason why you smile. I want you to find the reason why you exhale, like that deep exhale that brings you so much joy. I want you to find the reason why when you're in your car, you think about something and it brings tears to your eyes, not tears of sadness, but tears of joy. That's what I want you to do this week. Here's the last thing I want you to do this week. We have a hard time doing this as Black women. Oh, we have a hard time doing this. And I'm still learning this. So that's my self-disclosure for tonight. I still have a hard time doing this. But we're going to practice this together, sis. We're going to ask for help. We're going to ask for help and we're going to ask for support. We're going to stop trying to do things by ourselves. We're going to stop trying to make everything all of our jobs. We're going to stop shouldering the world on our shoulders because our shoulders were not meant to carry the world. We're going to learn how to ask for help and support. Why? Because you deserve it. You're not meant to carry everybody and everything on your shoulders. You're not meant to do that. That's what makes you physically tired. That's what makes you emotionally depleted. So as I wrap up tonight, our time together, I'm so glad you joined me on this first session. Yep, I know y'all are sitting there thinking, wait a minute, she gave us homework. Yep, I gave you homework. That's what a good therapist does. That's what a good coach does. You got homework. And I want you to do it. I want you to take time out this week. I want you to do those things for yourself. I want you to be more intentional about showing up for you. I want you to be more intentional about putting yourself in a bubble sometimes because you deserve it. You need it. In order to have the midlife that you deserve in order to be in this season where you're growing and thriving and no longer surviving. We don't survive anymore, sis. We thrive. You've got to be intentional about loving on yourself. And that means taking care of you. So, sis, until our next time together, next week, 7 o'clock, make sure you put you, make sure you put you at the top of your priority list. Let me say that again. Make sure you put you at the top of your priority list. So until next week, same time, 7 o'clock, remember, sometimes you are tired and sometimes you're emotionally depleted. You need to know the difference. And now you know what to do to take care of you. So I'll see you next week, same time. Y'all be blessed. Have an amazing week.